Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You wanna get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you wanna go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth,
and we're no damn experts. But we have an expert here in the studio today.
We sure do, about lots of things, but
Yeah.
specifically one I'm excited to talk about today. Welcome, Scott Reisner. Welcome back. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
A few years, I think. Yeah.
So this will be episode 244.
Okay.
So it's probably been at least in the hundreds maybe since you've been here. We'll have to look back.
Folks, you may not remember him, but also the things he's had his fingers in have been on this podcast more recently than he has.
That's true.
So,
Yeah,
gosh.
We've talked
Yeah.
about things that
you're
were involved
connected
in.
with.
Yeah.
And
like your shirt. You have an ice cream cone on your shirt.
which is a new endeavor.
We just, supporting the brand, Hot day, cold ice cream.
That's right.
Hot day, cold cream.
Big Dipper.
So just for fun, why don't you share with our listeners a little bit about Scott? What's changed since we last saw you? What things are you doing in our community?
Oh, man. I have no idea. So I'm Scott Reisner. I am the president and one of the owners of the Great Falls Voyagers. We recently, I guess that's the biggest changes, N-Bar Inc., who a lot of us know from downtown, N-Bar, The Block, Big Dipper Ice Cream, SideQuest Arcade. We, this past winter, purchased the Great Falls Baseball Club and the Great Falls Voyagers.
Yeah.
So that was the big investment and change on our end. And the next venture and learning, luckily a venture that I've known for a while. I'm currently in my 15th season out at the Voyagers.
Wow.
So if y'all want to feel old,
That went fast. My goodness.
That'll do it for you right there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I knew
15
Shannon, I
years?
think one of my very first years here, so no pressure
I know.
on.
I was like 15.
yeah,
What
15
happened with that?
years. I don't know.
my
It just came
goodness.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we've talked on the podcast about like if it's 15 seasons on TV, that
Yeah,
might
'cause,
be
like,
like
Survivor's
2
on, like,
years.
Well, now it might be
Episode
30 years the way
Right.
they make
Yeah.
TV these days.
Right.
But
Like 5 seasons a year.
But that is literally 15 years of being in baseball in Great Falls.
yes.
Which seems fails in comparison to how long we've had baseball in our community.
It is but a moment, but a blink of the eye. We have had professional baseball in Great Falls. Most people don't know this, since the late 1880s.
Whoa.
So a couple days.
So basically, like
Good
when
Lord.
statehood happened,
Great
before
Falls,
statehood?
Great
When-
Falls was created in 1888.
Yeah, and we had
Hey.
baseball right away. Maybe
First thing.
before
Well,
first thing.
Yeah.
Probably before to get people excited to become a town.
There you
Before
go.
it was an official town, there was baseball happening
Hey,
here.
hey.
But a little bit different. It was back. We're going to talk about some history
Yeah.
of the club as we get into this. But, back then it was like barnstorming baseball. Every town in Montana had their own team. You would sign players. There'd be local residents. There'd be a mix of all sorts of players on teams. We famously, in the early 1900s, had a player named Joe McNinty on the team, who's a Hall of Famer. He was the first Hall of Famer to play for the Great Falls. At the time, I believe it was the Great Falls Electrics way back in the day. And he actually played after his MLB career. So a lot of these players
Really?
would play MLB baseball, and then there'd be these local Great Falls kind of club kind of pro teams, and then they would sign up and play for them. They weren't affiliated, so in some ways similar to what we have now, but there was no restriction. So you could go out and sign a former Hall of Fame pitcher and have him come play for the Great Falls Baseball Club, and it was the Wild West. It was awesome.
What's the likelihood? I hope you say this is already happening. That's going to come back. That we just start getting. They retire and then come back to us.
Oh, zero, but it would be a lot of fun.
Scott, don't say
You
zero.
never
It's
know.
never zero.
Oh, if I, let's go. I was a big, '90s baseball guy, so all those guys are retired now. We'd sign them all. Let's go.
Hey, A-Rod, want to come hang out in Great Falls?
But I think we're onto something here. Just like a retirement league. I think that would work for a lot
love
of
that.
sports.
Yeah.
Basketball, baseball.
Well, they've already done it with basketball, so let's figure it out for baseball.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I mean,
I love that.
just the opportunity to Field of Dreams it again and see some
Just
more.
come back to where it all started.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll make that sales pitch here in the day after this podcast airs.
There you go.
When we get to our main topic, we'll make that pitch.
That's
So if you
right.
want to come out and start a game for us, you never know. Celebrity signings.
Yeah.
I think that could be a good.
I like this. I think we're on to something.
Yeah, we're brilliant people. So the talking about Hall of Fame people, have we had a lot of Hall of Famers in our midst? Either
Yes.
before they became Hall of Famers, obviously after they became Hall of Famers.
Yeah, so we've had quite a few. Joe McGinty was the first. The second, people, if you were a fan of Ken Burns' baseball documentary, or you just really like good 1920s, 1930s songs, you'll
love
know this
oldies.
name. Joe Tinker was our second Hall of Famer,
Okay.
famous for the saying "Tinkers to Evers to Chance" for all those long-lasting 19-teens Cubs fans out there.
Oh.
Can you sing something? Are you going to sing it?
Oh,
for
that's
us?
all I got is
Okay.
Tinkers to Evers to Chance. That's what I got for
Okay,
you. That is
perfect.
that's the
That's the
the
extent.
max
Yeah.
of what I can do here. But they were just much better at coming up with little phrases
Yeah.
and rhymes like that in the 20s and 30s. We've really let that go. We'll
another
talk to
big
the
opportunity
marketing and
for you.
promo team to see if we can come
There
up
you
with
go.
some more of those. So that was a Hall of Fame out here. And then before we get to our one more is our main topic, the other big Hall of Famer that started his career here that everyone is going to know is Bobby Cox.
Okay.
Hall
Yeah.
of Fame manager Bobby Cox got his start here playing for the Great Falls Electrics way long ago, but it was the first stop in his professional baseball career. So like many MLB players, hundreds of MLB players over the years started in Great Falls, Montana. Those are just a few, but it's been a very storied, great history of baseball here. One of the longest lasting franchises in the United States of America, one of the oldest stadiums in the United States.
Really?
So as much history as there is, no one's going to beat us when it comes to history,
That's
especially
cool.
for a community our size.
That's really cool.
In our name history, let's run through that real quick. We are the Voyagers today.
We are the Voyagers today, and I will go through how we got to the Voyagers. This is going to be my 30 seconds. And for any diehards out there, if I miss up on a couple years, I have no notes in front of me, so this is all rote memory
Perfect.
here.
Well,
So-
15 years in the industry. My gosh.
So we started way back. All sorts of weird names in the 1800s. The first established was the Great Falls Electrics.
Okay.
Then my favorite was we had a couple years where we the Great Falls Selectrics. We got the team
the
got
beer.
purchased by the owner of the Great Falls Brewing Company. His number one selling beer was Great Falls Select. So changed the name for a couple years of the
Electrics
Great
to
Falls
Selectric.
Selectrics.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I
We
know,
gotta bring that
fantastic.
back.
So then they went. That didn't last long. So the team went back to the Great Falls Electrics. The organization was formalized as the Great Falls Baseball Club in the 1950s. They offered shares to the community members, and until this purchase, we were one of the longest-lasting publicly community-owned teams left
So
in the
like
United
you
States.
and the Packers,
Us,
basically?
it was basically
Yeah.
us and the Packers. That was
Okay.
about all that was left. And so then we were affiliated with the Giants for Dodgers. We got an affiliation with the Dodgers for a long time. We were the Great Falls Dodgers. Then we went to the Great Falls Giants. So we swapped for the Giants. Those were some rough years on the win-loss column, but a part of a great history as well. Then we went back to the Dodgers yet again, and we were the Dodgers for the 80s and the early 90s. And then some people know this story, some don't. In the mid-late 90s, the Dodgers organization in Major League Baseball came to Great Falls and said, hey, guys, we love you. You've been around for 100 years. your stadium is a poo-poo platter. And
I hope that's the words
that
they
is
use.
that is the official
It was written in
from
the
the
memo.
from the commissioner's office.
Platter visit.
And they said, you got to do something about this or we're going to take away your affiliation. And back in the 90s, that meant death. That meant the end of your club. The team would move and they'd never come back. So they tried to pass a bond issue. Great Falls, famously, where those passed a lot in the 90s. Jokes.
I should have my sound effect ready.
That went down in flames, and so a group of individuals led by the gentleman that had been the majority owner for a long time, Vinny Papura, raised a whole bunch of money, just under $2 million, and fixed up the stadium to largely what you see when you come out to the ballpark today. And that was done in 2 rounds of renovations, one in the early 2000s and one that finished right before I got here, thankfully, in 2011. And that fixed up the stadium. We became a Great Falls White Sox affiliate at that point in time. We actually spent a handful of years as the Great Falls White Sox before the group that owned the team and the board said, well, this is really expensive because back then you didn't control who you were affiliated with. You had a contract with minor league baseball and Major League Baseball to have an affiliate, but who that affiliate was, you had no control over. And that could just change on a dime. And in the 90s and the 2000s, it was very much that way. Changed a lot. And they thought, wow, this is very expensive to have to change your name. Think about it. Every time you have to change your name, all the logos, every printing, jerseys, hats, your team store, everything. I mean, today it'd be close to $1 million to do that. But back then, even then, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they thought, well, who knows how long we'll be with the White Sox. We need to have a brand that is Great Falls centric, and the Great Falls Voyagers were born. And so that is the very brief history of names throughout the years. So you have Electrics, Selectrics, Dodgers, Giants, Dodgers again, White Sox, Voyagers.
When did the White Sox switch to Voyagers?
2004-5.
Okay.
Either 2004 or 2005.
Okay.
I should have that memorized, but it's right around there. I was in high school, so, a little slack. And I was in Ohio,
That's
so,
right.
I'm not really sure I knew where Montana was just yet.
That's fine.
That is another idea to put into the universe. Seth and Casey have been on the podcast. Maybe there's an opportunity to bring back a select style beer
in honor of the
You
Voyagers.
know,
we
they,
could have a special jersey night for the select.
I will talk business offline on why that may or may not work. But as I tell everybody, with enough time and enough money, all things are possible.
All things are possible.
Like bringing a Hall of Fame retired league to Great Falls.
Yes, absolutely.
So back to the Hall of Fame topic, there's one person we've famously left off the list for
The most
intent,
famous. Yes.
And that is really the subject for our podcast today, as my understanding, only because there was some parentheses on my calendar invite that said this is what we're going to talk about, which doesn't usually happen. But since you dabble in many areas, I think she wanted to make sure I knew what was happening. So
yeah, I put it on our calendar and she
I will
shows up.
Go ahead and just unleash you here. The final name, Hall of Famer, probably one of the best 3 to 5 pitchers of all time. Got his start here in Great Falls in 1990. It was his first stop coming from the Dominican Republic to the United States of America. Actually, his plane landed in, and I know we're not supposed to talk about other cities, but he landed in Butte to meet the team.
Wait, of all the airports in the state, Butte?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that is, of course, Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
So he played here in 1990 for the Great Falls Dodgers as his rookie season as a professional baseball player. He was pretty darn good, obviously.
Worked out well for him.
I think he surprisingly had an over 3 ERA, which was one of his worst ERAs in his entire career. But there's high elevation up here, it's hard for those pitchers.
Well, you go
higher
from
than
the
the DR.
Dominican Republic to Great Falls.
Yeah.
It's a lot of change.
So
Through Butte.
Via Butte,
we are very, very fortunate and lucky and blessed and all those things that Pedro will be here in Great
Yay.
Falls and at Voyager Stadium on August 23rd.
Yeah.
So we are so excited. The day after this podcast comes out, hopefully tickets are still available. But come on out to the ballpark. We are going to honor all things Pedro. What we're really excited about is not only to honor him and the greatness that, just the honor of having a player like that start their career in Great Falls, because that's really what it's all about from a baseball standpoint for us, but also just as a time to take a moment and towards the end of this season, look back at our history, spend some time looking at, the Dodger era, all those great players that came through Great Falls, and hopefully have a moment where Great Falls can look back and say, man, I come to games, I have hot dogs, my kids play in the playground, I have a cold beer, maybe I don't know whether they won or we lost, maybe if you come to a couple games, you'll know a player's name or two, but really that's what it's all about, is you don't know every given night who you might be watching on our team, on the opposing team, what future star is getting their start here in Great Falls, and what their careers may lead to after this. And there's no better embodiment than Pedro Martinez, who came out here as a young kid and is now, of course, one of the best, if not the best, pitcher of all time.
Yeah.
When we had the relief pitchers on, we got to visit with the players, and that is one of the things that they just beamed about, was being able to walk through the same hallways
Yes.
as Pedro Martinez, and what an honor that is, because really it's the same stadium.
It's the same clubhouse. It's been fixed up a little bit, but really, when he is back in town, the stadium, while upgraded and some changes, is really the same bones from 1990, and that's something really cool and unique about Great Falls and baseball in our community as opposed to others, is we have been fortunate enough, and this is people long before I got here, that have had the forethought to say, I'm going to fix up this stadium rather than just build a new one. I understand the appeal of new. It's fun and it's exciting, but you do lose something when everything's always new. There's other communities around our state that have built new stadiums, and they're fantastic and they're great facilities. But when you tear down that 100-year-old ballpark, you lose something.
Yeah.
And we've been able to retrofit and keep our stadium up to date. Certainly, it still has, some of its old quirks. When it rains, walking through the concourse, you're going to get dripped on, So there's definitely still some old bones in there, but it's a really cool experience, and really cool for someone like that to come back and be like, you'll get to see a lot of feel the exact same as when you played here. And that continuity is just different, and something a lot of organizations can't offer and communities can't offer. And we're very excited to have him back in Great Falls. It's been a 15-year dream of mine to have him come back. It's been a dream of the organization, and I know a lot of folks that I've talked to, season ticket holders. We have a lot of season ticket holders that have been coming to games since the 1990s and remember watching him play.
Wow.
So it's going to be a really cool full circle moment for him, for a lot of our long-term fans, and for our community to have this all take place on August 23rd.
So what kind of things are happening at the ballpark on the 23rd that will give us access to Pedro, or maybe just viewing opportunities of Pedro?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously there's a lot going to be happening behind the scenes.
I will pay a very hefty amount just to touch Pedro.
Well, we are very fortunate. He's actually coming back on his own accord. We'll get into it a little bit, but they're filming a documentary on his life in which Great Falls will feature. And his time with the Great Falls Dodgers was obviously a very impactful one for him, and something he's wanted to do for a long time. So we're going to spend a lot of time during the day, him at the stadium, kind of reminiscing. He's been very generous. He's going to spend some one-on-one time with our team, which is what a cool experience for those guys to meet a Hall of Famer. You don't get a lot of folks in the Pioneer League, players in the Pioneer League, get to meet a player like Pedro, come and visit with them. We're going to be unveiling that night for all fans to see a new mural that's going to go up in the concourse. So we're very excited about that. Pre-game for kids, something that was very important for us as an ownership group, and also for Pedro and his team, is how do we get the youth of our community and young baseball fans excited. So we're actually going to be giving away 300 custom Pedro Martinez Great Falls Falls Dodgers t-shirts
Oh, cool.
to the first kids. So
Nice.
the first 300 kids come in. Just a kids giveaway. Sorry. Not a collector's item, not for adults to try to get autographed and sell. This is for kids to really kind of hopefully learn some history of baseball.
Is there an age limit on the kid thing? Like, is it going to be a stickler
Kid at
like,
heart.
hey, you are not 15?
You are
If you
clearly
have
not
seen
10.
me
Yeah.
at the front with giveaways over the years, I love a good rule.
Yeah.
So yes,
Like,
we
let me
will be
see that ID.
sticklers.
100% is true because I was bidding on a jersey.
Oh, yeah,
and
she
they
tells
said
us.
jersey bidding is done at this time, and I'm like, I'm gonna sneak right back in. Scott has already swept in and pulled the sheet, and I'm like, dang it.
Love
on
rules. Oh, more rules the better. But so we'll be doing that for the kids, and then we'll have obviously a lot of celebration pregame. So make sure to get out to the ballpark early that day. We are most likely going to be opening doors a little bit early. Doors normally open at 6 to get people in the stadium. Pregame, we're still working out exactly what all he's going to participating in, but he'll be out there throwing the first pitch. He'll be on the field as we honor him. We're going to have we're working with the city. It is August 23rd. From this day forward will be Pedro Martinez Day here in Great Falls.
Fantastic.
So we are going to have all sorts of very cool things pregame. It'll be a chance to everyone to see Pedro throw out a first pitch, wave to the crowd, and thank him before we make sure he gets some private time to kind of enjoy the game, reminisce, have that family time. It's something that's important to us is to make sure that he gets to have a great experience when he's here too. Obviously we know that there's a lot of fans and a lot of outpouring of support from the community that want to meet him, do autographs, do all this and that. But we're trying to be very respectful of the fact that, this is his first time back here since 1990 as well.
Wow.
And the memories and his family being in town. And this is just really going to be a special moment for them as well. Looking back, here we are 35 years later and all that his life has ended up being, and knowing that it started at this ballpark is going to be a really cool experience. And we want to make sure that they have time to enjoy that as a family as well.
Yeah. I would imagine they're going to keep him on. You guys, the documentary, all that, keep him on the run. So that's nice because, like you said, he hasn't been back here for years. I'm sure he needs to kind of absorb the moments
I
a little
know
bit
that
as well.
he fell in love with fishing here in our community. We've already started to get some of the stories, but we're very excited just to hear more about his time here and have that opportunity for him, his family, our players, that kind of full circle moment. We're very excited. I'm sure he'll be doing some fishing around the area. This is where he fell in love with that and still loves to do to this day. And it started right here in Great Falls.
I love that.
Well, we do have good fishing.
That's true. World class. So your players today have host families.
Correct.
Pedro, I assume, was that the case in the 90s too?
Yes,
Had a host family
they
here?
did a shout out for them actually in his Hall of Fame speech. If people go look it up on YouTube, he did a Great Falls mention and thanked his host family. So, that's another cool aspect of baseball in Great Falls. It's still kind of a throwback, even in 2025, where, players in the 70s, 80s, 90s lived with families in our community, and they still do today. That's just was a really cool element that existed in all of baseball for a really long time. And not only exists in a few really cool special communities, and we're fortunate to be one of them. And what it does is it really helps kind of provide a great place for players to start their career. They don't have to move in to an apartment with 4 or 5 other players. They don't have to be in and out of hotels. They get that family experience that really can make a difference in a player's life and their career. And the number of host families we have that have gone to weddings and all sorts of stuff, gone around the country watching their former players play in major league stadiums. It's a really cool experience. And if you're ever at the ballpark and you want to hear some really cool stories, find the host families, talk to them, get their side of, they get to know these players as people, their families, stay in touch with them for years and years, sometimes decades and decades afterwards. Yeah. And it's just a really cool experience.
Well, Carol,
Our guest
who you will
services
see
manager.
when you walk in our building, she was a host family for one of the players, still connected with them today. And every time we travel, she's always, because he was in Chicago, he's in Chicago now. We were just there for a conference. If you want to go to a game, let me know. I'll get you tickets.
Yeah, Carol's like still in touch.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But they
another
also-
effect of being a host family. You never know where you'll end up getting tickets to.
When she was offered the position here, she was actually in Denver watching him play.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
She's like, why is the visitor information center in Denver giving me a call? Like she wasn't connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Nope, it was me.
But I think she's a perfect example of that, of those relationships that are built and the connections that continue for decades.
Yeah, and there's just lots of them, and we've been very, very fortunate in my time and before my time that Great Falls is just a welcoming, open, different community. We have host families for all of our players this year, and that is not the case for every community that has host families.
Yeah.
A lot of players are on their own, and when they don't have host families, it's tough luck. Good luck. Find a place to live if you want to play. And we do not have to go to players and say that. And that just speaks volumes about Great Falls, the place it's been. And, for whatever people can say about 2025, it's not like it used to be. It's things that people have gotten meaner or whatever. The ballpark is a place that hasn't changed. We have host families. You're still going to get the same experience. If you want to kind of have that throwback nostalgia moment, that's in some ways that's what we're there for.
Yeah. You said you've been with them for 15 years now. It's been a dream of yours to be able to have Pedro back. Are you able to share what kind of made it happen now, the culmination of all of this, the documentary?
We got really fortunate
Okay.
with this documentary. So we'd reached out to Pedro's team a number of times over the years to try to facilitate, and we knew it was something he was interested in. But obviously he is a very, very busy person, and trying to figure out how that all worked. And when this documentary came online, and the director, I'm not sure if you could get him on the podcast one day. What a dream. But a gentleman, Alex Rivest, we'd really owe him a lot in making this happen, not just for the baseball club and the Voyagers, but for the community, is wanting to tell that story of Pedro's time in Great Falls, but also how that connects to like a larger baseball story. It's just a story you don't get to hear very often of minor league baseball and how players start. And everyone you see on TV, this is where they started. They started in communities like ours with host families somewhere, hoping that, in front of their 1,000 fans on a Tuesday night, that they do good enough to move up and move on. And, it's a really cool way to come back and look at the impact of communities like Great Falls can have on the game of baseball.
That's got to be so energizing for your organization to have him come in.
It is. It really has been, and it's something we're really excited for the day, and will really just, I think, propel us for years, because it's really an emphasis of mine. That's something we're working on, is launching a new history room and exhibit here in the next couple years. And we know we have to do, one of the things when we sat down and kind of like, okay, if we were starting from scratch, what would the Great Falls baseball experience look like? And really doing a better job of telling that history story and being like, yeah, we want to do fun, we want to do exciting, we want to have all the glitz and glamour that is baseball at this level, but with also knowing that we are kind of guardians of the past in some way, that we have that responsibility to make sure that the stadium stays the same, upgraded, looks great, but that it's here for the next 100 years. Who's the player that's going to come back in 35 years? Who's going to be the next Pedro Martinez to come through the door, and make sure that we kind of have that consistent experience. You come to a game in 1990, 2000, 2030, 2050, it's going to be the same experience.
Yeah.
I would like to just say this is completely not along those
Oh,
lines.
gosh.
I'm sorry. It just popped into my head. But having bronzes of the Hall of Fame people that have come through.
With enough time and money, all things are possible.
Yeah. I think this
so
is
if
one we can make happen relatively
If anybody listening to this podcast would like to sponsor that, we would love to build those, and that's a great idea. My email is scott@gfvoyagers.com, and I can be reached
Accepting
anytime.
donations.
That is that is the reality. It is a business that we purchased to keep here. It is not a business you will ever get a check from. It is a business that we know needs to exist in our community, and we exist at the behest and willingness of our business and fans. If the support isn't there to do things, they don't really get to happen. And we love that idea. And Scott@gfvoyagers.com, any local business listening, we can certainly make that happen.
Yeah.
Well, I like that idea of the art that exists in our community, making sure that those bronzed players, are.
I don't know if you've seen statues lately. They can be kind of hit or miss. So you got to make sure.
We've got
there's been some famous
artists
tough
in
statues
this
out
area.
there of players
We're not
over the last
talking
couple years.
Madame Trudeau or whatever. We're talking.
I don't know. They just
Those
did
are
a
hit or
Tom Brady
miss.
one, and
Oh, that's true. That one's
very
been a
meh.
little
Very meh.
No, that won't be ours. Ours will be accurate.
Some kind of go the way of like those tattoos. Like you get a face of someone, you're like, that's not necessarily them.
If
but
you squint and look at an angle, it looks like
and
them.
you're
yeah.
drunk. You know,
Right.
those are all the things that
Maybe
need
we
to
have them
combine.
facing the stadium, so when you leave, they look like the player they're supposed to, as opposed to when you come in.
There you
That's
go.
maybe the better
Stacking
idea
the
there.
odds there.
Yeah.
The mural, is that the Pedro mural? Is that already done?
Nope, we will
inside?
be doing it here, and it'll be covered all week, and then you will
Okay.
see it to win
Ooh.
on August 23rd. So it'll be a nice, cool
exciting.
addition to our concourse and a
Yeah.
nice step forward. We will also be kind of just doing a lot to throwback history stuff, PA announcements, signage, posters, stuff like that. Just kind of broken out, going through our history, so people walk around that maybe if you just moved to Great Falls or you're new to our community over the last handful of years or you're just visiting, you kind of can get that story, especially of the Dodger era, the
Yeah.
players that played, what that was like. We had a couple year stretch where we were the best team in baseball. Not Major League Baseball, not AAA, in all of baseball.
That's crazy.
And that was pretty recent.
That's crazy.
That was 1990 and 1989 and 1990. So,
See? Considering we started in 1880.
That's true. That is recent in those
we are
terms.
on the most recent half there.
Yes,
yeah.
that's true. Good
So that's
point.
nice.
Good point. Yeah.
Well, let's not diminish what's happened in our community here.
Scott, have you gotten to talk directly with Pedro?
I have not.
Oh.
I am a 1990s baseball kid.
Yeah.
So.
I was like, how hard are you fangirling about?
Oh, well,
if
what's
you get to-
tough is I grew up a Cleveland Indians fan, now Guardians, so he just dominated us my entire life. So, a
little bit of love-hate.
childhood nights were ruined and in tears because of him on the mound. But
Little Scott could see him now and be like, well, we're going to become a Pedro fan.
well, we're definitely fans now. And as you get older, obviously some of that fades, and you just realize, wow, when there's really great people like that, you're just in awe of their accomplishment and what they were able to do.
Well, I think mentioning Tom Brady, right? Unless you're a Patriots fan, you're usually like, ugh. But then if you step back, you're like, oh, no,
it's pretty cool.
He's real good at his sport.
Yeah, that worked
You
out.
gotta
Okay.
appreciate the talent.
Right.
We just had that debate, my current spouse and I, about Tom Brady and Gronkowski, and who was the better football player overall. And that was a really good conversation. And
Well, they're a good team.
We've been joking around the ballpark, especially Sean Rapay, our manager, and myself, being the old folks around there. That you were really good in the 90s when every single player or person that works for us knows who you are. If 30 years later everyone knows your name and you can just go by one name, it's Cher, it's Pedro. That's what we got here. Then you really did something.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of amazing players in that era, Eric Karros that played here, a lot of folks like that, Delano DeShields, and you have to be a pretty diehard 90s baseball fan to know some of those other major leaguers, but everybody knows Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
Scott, did you play baseball when you were growing up?
Very mediocrely, but yeah, sure.
Hey, I didn't say were you fantastic at it. Did you get out and put the uniform on?
A uniform, sure did. You betcha.
So back to the mural, is there going to be somebody working like behind a curtain during games? Or is it only going to happen?
It's only going to happen when no one's in the ballpark. I don't know that we're not really going to be. We have the downtown murals going up in public.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have that ability or skill set at the ballpark. We're more of a hot dog salesman.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
big reveal. Like,
So
there's a
art's new for
curtain
us.
in the back. And
Right.
You got
just
somebody
hiding under the
underneath
curtain
there.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, the artist
thought
just
it would
hiding.
make-
Yeah.
Thought it
Sorry,
would
you
make
got to
some
hide
good
behind the.
content,
Right.
like behind the curtain.
I know.
And
Well, I was going to ask
they're
him.
close.
We'll be
Cloaked
after
in.
this podcast, but we have the high school nights, the
Yeah.
Cross Clash for Education right before this. So 2,000 high school kids roaming
Yeah, maybe
the
not the
ballpark.
best.
Someone trying to do art. I don't know that's
Yeah.
what we're going for per se. Feels dangerous.
Are you the artist, Scott?
I cannot confirm or deny.
Okay.
Ooh.
Tricky.
Maybe he's really
got
good at
secret
art, even
skills.
though he sucks at baseball.
No, I actually failed high school art because my teacher,
That doesn't
not
mean
to
anything.
talk ill of a teacher, but thought I was so bad that I couldn't have been trying.
That's
Yeah.
a whole new level.
So gave me a C because she thought
Just
I
like,
was
we
mailing
need
it
to get
in.
you out of here.
And I was like, no, I'm trying.
I'm
This is
working
this
hard.
is what I
like,
got.
you might be naturally good at this, but believe it or not, I'm
Sorry.
not.
Sorry, this is all I can do.
I often sketch up for our marketing firm things I need them to see visually because they're not getting it like on the third or fourth. And so they always look forward to when I scan in my sketch and be like,
Stick figures.
this is what I'm looking for. And one actually made the fridge because it was that awful.
If you talk to any of the marketing folks that we have, they will tell you a similar story. And when it's got draw time and I'm out here trying to picture what I need them to do, it's a disaster. Yeah.
No, this one was very, very R-rated. If you were to look at it
for
at the
our
wrong
market
way.
for our marketing.
What are
firm?
you drawing?
Yeah,
What are you trying
what
to
are we
market
doing?
here?
Horse racing, and it did not turn out well. My sketches.
How do you
they
draw
pick-
R-rated horse race? I don't want to know.
You don't, but I'm just going to say that's the one that made the fridge.
Huh.
Okay.
Our fridge, like downstairs in our break room.
At Bannock. Yeah. Like, and it's been shown around like, okay, this is one of our clients. This is what they wanted us to create. And then this is what we created. I'm like, oh, it looks very similar. So
That could probably be more of a conversation for our After Dark podcast.
no, there was nothing
Yeah.
bad about it. It was horse racing stick figures. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
I think we can
So,
imagine maybe
let's,
where that went wrong.
Move on.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so Pedro Martinez Day for now and forevermore.
Yes,
August 23rd.
23rd, we will from now on honor not just Pedro Martinez, but as a day for Great Falls and our city to look back at the history of baseball.
I love that.
And the hundreds of MLB players that got their start here in our community. So very cool.
You probably don't know or aren't allowed to say. Do we have any idea when and where the documentary will be out in the world?
I do not yet, but obviously as soon as we get that, obviously we're going to be pushing hard for a private showing at the Newberry, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
No guarantees there, but hopefully, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But yes, as soon as we
I
have
know,
that
that's
information,
all
we will let
we
you
never
know.
really
But
know,
we are
but-
obviously a ways out from that, but we're very excited.
Yeah. I have, I hear that Pedro learned to drive in Great Falls, so I think that will be depicted in some way in the documentary. So I'm excited to hear more of
lots
that
of stuff.
story,
I mean, and what's really cool is, for a lot of time, it is a really cool story of Great Falls and Latin American baseball players moving to the United States for the very first time.
Yeah.
You are welcome
your
to
exposure
the
to
United
the US.
States of
Yeah.
America. You are now a professional baseball player. We're sending you to Great Falls, Montana.
Yeah.
And, just the success story that has been over really since, when that kind of started in the 60s, 70s, really in earnest in the 80s and 90s. I mean, that is a really cool success story for our community, that it was a place that people always felt comfortable sending top Latin American stars was Great Falls. We can, and that's why we were a coveted place as an affiliated team for a long time, because it was a place that you knew we were going to find host families that cared, that the players would be treated respectfully and taken care of. And if they walk into a restaurant and they don't really know English, that the server is going to be kind and work with them. And, you can't say that about every place, but you can about Great Falls.
Still true to this day.
To this day, absolutely.
Strong DR to GF connection.
Always.
Take that. What else was I going to ask you about Pedro? Have you heard anything about like favorite places to eat or places he liked to go or anything like that?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Favorite drink?
I really hope that we do get some of that information, for better and for worse. Great Falls has changed a lot since 1990, so I'm interested,
But who knows? Maybe
we
Boris
could-
was the hot spot for him
Boris,
then.
maybe we could figure out a campfire steak and honor old Eddie's, R.I.P., that'd
Maybe
be
hit
great
up
for us.
Ford's. I mean,
Ford's is still
classics that have
rocking. I
been
mean,
here.
we definitely have some
There
some
has
going
been
on.
a lot of changes.
Right.
But I think there might be some
3D
staples.
might have been a nightclub in 1990. I don't
Yeah.
really know. What's crazy is the number of sponsors that are the same from 1990. I mean, we still have a bunch of businesses that have had outfield billboards or been a sponsor in some way since before 1990. I mean, you got your Cascade Electrics, your Battery Warehouse. I mean, some of these multi-generational family businesses that have been supporting baseball for 35 years. I mean, which is just, again, it's just another full circle moment. We were looking at, pictures of Pedro playing the other day. We've been able to get a handful of them together, and we're going to be, anyone in the public that has more, just let us know. We're certainly trying to help the documentary out. We can't, we're like, oh, that sign's still up. That was painted on an old woods fence back in 1990, but now it's a little different, but a lot of the same. So very, very cool look back for a lot of those companies as well.
Yeah. Anything else in all of your various ventures that you have going on that we should know about?
Well, after you come to Pedro and I, obviously, we still will have, after that game, still 4 more home games in the 2025 season. So we are right on the edge right now as of filming. We will know more when we're back in town by this airing for sure of whether we're going to surge up and be in the playoff hunt or fall back. You never know. Baseball's a crazy sport. So hopefully we'll be having some good competitive games. But either way, a lot of fun left at the ballpark. We'll have our last Sunday brunch, which if you have not tried yet, this has been a growing event for us here the last couple years. We've moved all of our Sunday games to 11:30 a.m. The only pre-noon start in professional baseball, and the only official brunch in baseball in all baseball going on. Come out 11:30, $5 mimosas, special brunch menu, and kids eat free. So give your kids a free kids meal, throw them to the kids zone. You get your $5 mimosa. What else does a person need in life?
Like a great
Nothing.
Sunday morning.
Nothing.
I love that. Okay. So
Nothing more.
take advantage of that.
So Sunday, come on out. One of those
Love
left
that.
on August 24th, and then the 26th, 27th, 28th. We have a lot of fun games, promotions. 3 last games. Our last Thirsty Thursday. So we end our home season on a Thirsty Thursday. So what a banger!
Yeah,
So
going out strong.
It's going to be $2 draft beers to end the season.
A lot of good deals
Just
going.
empty them kegs. Let's go.
Get it gone.
Yeah,
it's not going to keep.
We're just going to keep the doors open until all those beers are gone.
Kegs are dry.
Come out to the ballpark thirsty. We'll figure out a ride for you. There's Uber in Great Falls, I think.
Absolutely.
Plenty of opportunity. And hey, maybe if you play your cards right, you can just sleep in your seat.
You never know. The season's over. We won't be there the next day.
We won't kick you out.
The next day, the team leaves for Glacier, and off they go. So.
In other news that you're involved in, one more Downtown Summer Jam coming up as well. Lots of Newberry concerts.
Yep. So we have our last Downtown Summer Jam the Wednesday after this. That'll be Logan Michael in downtown. So that'll be a great event. The street festival party, last little hurrah of summer. So those tickets are on sale now, and lots of Newberry concerts coming up. So fall, winter, comedy shows, DJ nights, concerts. TheNewberryMT.com. Visit downtown Great Falls. Have a little dinner at N Bar. Go to the concert. Big Dipper Ice Cream open till 11. So you can.
I do love that you guys are open.
You can get that late night ice cream, and a lot of people do. 9 to 10 is the time for that cold cream. So
well, I know I've gone to a concert there, and then afterwards, I'm not hitting the bar; I'm hitting the ice cream.
Yeah,
and that's
you
been
can
great.
tell we're in a similar generation now. That when I first moved here, it'd be post-game concert. Post-concert bar. Now it's post-concert ice cream. That's the evolution of mankind for you.
Yes. And if you're in a group, like my husband will go to the block, get the beer. I'm like, I'm just going to walk through the arcade over to Big Dipper and get my ice cream and come back and join you over here.
Yeah.
So,
We have the cup holders for the pinball games. A lot of people use those for beer. You can put a cup of ice cream in there too. That's no problem. It works just fine.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite flavor
Of ice cream? Salted caramel for life.
Oh, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. I will try others, and then I'm mad at myself for not getting salted caramel.
Salted caramel. The maple's great, but I was mostly going to go salted caramel. That's probably 70-80% of the orders, or you just a classic vanilla Lil Dipper sundae. Tough to beat. You just got to go old school vanilla ice cream. That's how you know if it's a good ice cream place, if you like the vanilla, because that's the base of all the flavors. So you gotta make sure that vanilla is just popping. You gotta be ready.
I was in the other day, and one of the guests did like a flavor. explosion.
A menagerie.
Yes. So it was all sherbet, lime, orange, lemon.
Oh yeah.
and one other thing.
If you're gluten free, that we got all the sherbets.
Yeah.
Come out there, all made in house. Some people don't believe us when we say this. We make all of that ice cream in house. We have a lady, she is amazing and makes all that all day, every day. We're just in there making ice cream.
Wow.
And waffle cones. You got
And
to
we make
because
the
it
fresh
smells.
waffle cone.
Ooh, that's the
Smells-
smell.
Oh, the
That's
whole
the smell.
office back there smells like waffle cones.
Oh.
Sometimes it's tough. You're out there trying to do some work and it's just you're just getting
waffle.
waffed
Yeah.
with waffle.
You're like, I
That would
can't
be-
take this
That
anymore.
would be challenging.
And you just got to be like, yeah, I'll get an ice cream.
You need to bottle that up in a candle scent or something, and
Just an air freshener, probably.
yeah,
Yeah. A diffuser.
yeah.
A lot of options for smells. Thank you, Scott, for
Yeah.
coming and telling us about Pedro Martinez Day.
Thank
and
you.
Pedro.
Yeah, we'll see everyone out of the ballpark while summer is still going. Thanks for a great year already. Our another season under the belt. The 2025 season is coming to a close, and hopefully see everyone out there the last couple games.
Of course, get your tickets now.
GFVoyagers.com. So super easy. This is a big push for us as well. We've been trying to promote it for the Voyagers and the Newberry. Buy your tickets directly from us, please. I'm begging the community
100%.
to learn. Buy your tickets at GFVoyagers.com. Our tickets are cheap. So if you see a ticket for like $40 or $50, that is not us. You are
See,
getting
that
ripped
confuses
off.
me. I'm like, why would I go anywhere? Why would I not just buy? That wouldn't even
Every
have
night,
occurred to me.
unfortunately, your StubHubs, your Ticketmasters, your
Vivid
ticket
Seats.
returns, Vivid Seats,
What
they
are they
are
doing?
scam companies, scam arenas.
Why
Stay
are-
away from those
Yeah.
websites.
What are they doing meddling in this?
They just spend
No.
way more. We are a small local company. We cannot outspend StubHub
Yeah.
on marketing.
Right.
So when you type in tickets, they are going to pop to the top. Just scroll a little bit or just go to gfvoyagers.com or the newberrymt.com. Your tickets will be way more affordable.
Just
please.
like you
And
want to know
legit.
where your food comes from, go to the
That's right.
source.
Yeah.
Get your
They
tickets
get you
local.
real tickets, but what they do is they sell you a $40 or $50, sometimes even $100 ticket. Then they go to our website, buy a real $13 ticket, send you a real ticket, and then we just go, I didn't get that money, so there's just nothing we can do for you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Ugh.
but we just try to get the word out that if it looks too expensive, it
It
probably
is.
is.
Yeah.
That's for a concert, any event.
And
that's
that
just-
applies to Pedro
that-
Martinez
that's-
Day too.
Tickets are the exact same price
Yeah.
for Pedro Martinez Day as every other game. So when that person messages you or likes your post on Facebook that says, I'm desperately trying to sell my ticket, they
No,
are
they're not.
going to scam you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
just do not do that.
My favorite is during Mimosa Showdown. There's those scammers that'll post in the Mimosa
It's
Showdown
every
post
event.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I got tickets, but I'm not able to make it.
Every time. Yeah. Do not ever
There's
buy.
no tickets.
If
Right.
you do not know the person in the real world, do not
Yeah.
buy it from them on the fake internet world.
and
That
maybe
is just
look
a good rule.
and cross-reference somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can always call us 406-452-5311. Just call the Voyagers, call the Newberry, and say, hey, what's going on with these tickets? We are there. We have phones. We have people
You have humans.
manning them ready to help you at any time.
Yeah.
You can always walk up to box office for almost any event or show and just get a ticket in person. We still take cash. Bring
Oh,
that cold hard
What
cash
a
out here.
concept.
Oh, I know. I almost want
Real
to go.
money?
Yeah.
You can use that real money. And it's cheaper because you don't have credit card
Yeah,
fees.
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have all these weird online things. Everything online is just more expensive. So just do it in person.
Yep.
But that's my PSA,
That is
my pet peeve.
Scam
I
watch
could
with
go
Scott.
I
Yeah.
could go on a soapbox 4 hours and tell you
I
just
can
horrific,
imagine.
crazy stories of everything we've seen. But just do not do it. Yeah, we've had people this year be like, I'd go to more Voyager games, but you charge $40. I'd be like, we do not.
Yeah.
That is not true.
$40 will get your ticket, your dinner, a
Yeah.
hat,
The
you know what I
gas to
mean?
get
The
there,
gas to get
yeah.
there. That will pay for your entire family to come
Yeah,
out.
right.
You know what? Yeah, that is not the price of our tickets. Kid tickets are $8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids 5 and under are free. Free
If
every
they're
game.
scamming you on a 4-year-old's ticket,
Oh, they're scamming
They're
you on
awful
everything.
people.
yeah.
They are. I've talked to
that's-
some of them on the phone. They are bad people.
Uh-huh.
They're not from Great Falls though.
No,
They're not.
they are not.
These are all big city
Yeah.
coast people.
Oh.
Ugh.
But But please come visit
But please
them.
come visit. Yeah.
And buy gfvoyagers.com tickets, gfvoyagers.com for all your ticket needs.
Well, thank you, Scott.
Thanks,
and
Scott.
thank you for listening. Get to Great Falls. A lot of things happening, especially momentous markers in our history. So, folks, until we see your bright, happy, healthy, beautiful, smiling faces in Great Falls, we do hope you're creating amazing memories with your friends and family wherever you might be. See you soon.
We Are No Damn Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.